Well, I got another game going on. DHS, Department of Homeland Security. The word is, I looked at some of these references online, but it makes sense. I don't think they'd get a hell of a lot of people in the Department of Homeland Security to do a lot of really rotten stuff and violate the Bill of Rights if they're born in the United States and, they've been around for generations and stuff like that. They'll have to get people that are more like foreigners or halfway foreigners or more like halfway foreigners, because that's probably going to be the most practical thing. So what's going on, supposedly, is that they're basically hiring illegals, like illegal aliens, which I really don't give a shit if somebody's an illegal alien as long as they understand what the Bill of Rights is, but they don't give a shit, basically. A lot of these guys, some of these guys don't give a shit. They're like, hey, we're taking over. That's basically what it is. So the DHS is basically sticking a badge on those type of people, and that's what's going on. So they will enforce like a lot of crazy laws and go against Americans big time. Now the other thing that's coming up, I saw in the United Nations they had this big vote about banning, well, not banning weapons, but ultimately it could mean banning weapons in the United States. Ultimately it definitely will mean that, but it's about regulation international arms trade. And international arms trade, basically that treaty has passed by the United Nations almost unanimously. The only three that voted against it were Iran, North Korea, and Syria. And that's not because they're for the people's rights. It's because they don't want the United Nations telling them what to do. Because North Korea don't allow its citizens to have guns and things like that. I mean, Iran, the same old stuff. I mean, they got a lot of gun control in there. The regime just doesn't want to be told what to do by the United Nations. So, they're not necessarily for people's rights. The only place that's actually the beacon of freedom is not so much, well, it's not the United States government that's the beacon of freedom. It's actually the people in America themselves that are not wanting to go along with a lot of this stuff and sticking with the Bill of Rights. But DHS is supposedly hiring illegal aliens and like sticking a badge on them, giving them driver's licenses and everything like that, and say, there you go, you're hired, buddy. So, I have to say this. Stick with your guns, man. Stick with your guns all the way. And, these guys, it's going to come down to the point, because this is jackbooted Nazism going on here, left and right in front of your eyes, all the way. And I'm going to say this, because a lot of people into this, I don't know, the patriot movement, the militia movement, they got this thing in their head that a lot of things going on with the New World Order are caused by Jewish people. I swear to God, they think this shit. You gotta lay off that kind of crap. There are Jewish elitists that are part of the New World Order. Regular Jewish businessmen are not. They're just like everybody else, man. Same bullshit. They're out there, they want to protect what they worked hard for, their business. And, they don't want some thugs coming in there, busting up their businesses and taking over and all this kind of shit. So they're all for, guns. For guns, and being able to get people with guns to protect their business. Now I know Bloomberg is a pile of bullshit. I know he's Jewish, right? But he's a pile of bullshit. He doesn't represent the average Jew. Just got to point this out, because one of our strongest allies in this whole freaking thing, that has the best arguments against gun control, that can actually wake up the lethargic masses about this deal, is Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. That organization, actually take a look at their website, Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership, JPFO, and they come up with a lot of good statistics on things that can really blow it out of the water. But most people, the problem is with most people, they are lethargic until it comes on them completely. Then it's like they want to be, everything's fine. Everything's fine until it goes on them completely. Then they wake up, but then it's too late. Usually those kind of people get, they get over it anyway. They get over anyway because they're bureaucratic scum. But You know, this deal is coming down for real with DHS. It's like the only way I figured they would be able to get people in the United States to enforce these draconian Gestapo type laws that are against the Bill of Rights would be to use foreigners, not people not born in the United States, because you might find some, but for the majority, most people that lived in the United States and have, you know, going back maybe a generation or two, they realize what the U.S. is about and they realize what the Bill of Rights is about, and they wouldn't do all the crazy shit that the elitists probably want the DHS to do. So they're getting basically illegal aliens and putting it in there. So, you know, I got to say this, man. It's like, stick with your guns big time. Don't give up your rights. But things aren't as screwed up as you possibly think. Like, because the ammunition is not totally dried up. Like I pointed out in one of my previous videos, you can still buy stuff on sale from, you know, bulkammo.com. It's still there. You know, you can still buy it. So you shouldn't have to pay like a top dollar for all kinds of stuff. There's still stuff available. So, you know, I'd say buy the stuff and, you know, keep at, you know, it's probably more important to have the ammunition and guns than it is to silver. And, you know, it's like the writing actually is definitely on the wall what they're planning to do. So, it's like you got to fight them back hard. I mean, I can't really say exactly what to do on here. But you got to fight them back hard. You can't be freaking playing pussy whip bullshit, you know, you got to tell them what the hell's going on. You got to freaking hit them hard back. Hit them hard back. And, you know, if you got apathetic people around that are, you know, they don't want to listen to you, don't bother wasting your breath on them. I mean, really. There's a lot of people like that, and that's really why the situation's the way it is. Don't bother wasting your breath on them. But it looks like the DHS is hiring illegal aliens, and those are the type of people that are like, you know, they want to take back America. They want to get rid of the freaking jerk Americans that are in here. They figure this is their land, and they want to get rid of them. So, you know, you're gonna have to freaking fight. That's all there is to it. So, it's a bullshit. So that's all I got to say. It's going to come right down to it. This ain't going to be a matter of like principles. It's going to be a matter of you're going to have to fight. That's all there is to it. So that's really my message. It's like, don't get over emotional about it. Don't like think the sky's going to fall tomorrow. But it's coming down to it. You're going to actually have to fight. No bullshitting around.